Let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell. And Andrew, understandably, this issue has dominated everything since the Queen's passing, including the Prime Minister's first discussion with his new British counterpart.
That's right, Kieran. Well, the death of the Queen has shaken Australia and was obviously the predominant subject discussed during that 20-minute phone call between Anthony Albanese and the new UK PM Liz Truss on Friday night. Liz Truss spoke of the grief and shock experienced in Britain. The PM felt the same could be said of the reaction in Australia. He now prepares to fly out to the Queen's funeral later this week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. There will be a bilateral meeting between the new British Prime Minister and our Prime Minister on that trip. The PM called off the 4 days of Parliament that was scheduled this week. The protocol requires Parliament not to sit for 15 days after the monarch's death, but only 4 days were scheduled for sitting during that period. When it came to the Queen's death, there were strict rules for how things should proceed in Australia. Albanese had been briefed both as opposition leader during the election campaign and upon becoming Prime Minister of what would occur should the Queen die. The election campaign would have had to have been halted for a period agreed between PM and opposition leader had the death happened in May. On Thursday night, the PM was pretty much up all night after the news started trickling in that there was a chance the Queen might pass. Anthony Albanese and his staff gathered in his office at Parliament from the early hours of the morning. Then protocol dictated that the Governor-General must announce first and put out a statement first, and the PM had to wait at least an hour before doing the same. That's how we finally got a statement from the PM at 6 a.m. Now, the PM has met the Queen before at a G20 function at Buckingham Palace, where he was alongside former PM Kevin Rudd and his Treasurer Wayne Swan in 2009. At that meeting, he found her warm and engaging and marvelled at her ability to work the room. Mr Albanese has also met King Charles III on a couple of occasions and looks forward to catching up with him, seeing him as a moderniser who is into cities policy and a big mover on tackling climate change, Kieran.